to the tap. We are bringing awareness to CAST, that is Child Advocacy Studies Training. And joining us today to kick off the day is Miss Karla Tye. She's with the Children's Advocacy Centers of Mississippi and a frequent flyer here on Good Things. Welcome back. And we also have Miss Addison Alexander. She had just graduated from MC and she interned at a Child Advocacy Center and now working there. So welcome, Addison.
Thank you.
It's good to have you both. Okay, Miss Karla, I feel like it's been a while, but it's not been that long, but still up to some good work. There may be a chance that somebody listening hasn't heard of a Child Advocacy Center yet, or the CAST. So what's your elevator speech? How do you sort of describe how those two go together?
So our Child Advocacy Centers intervene after there has been an allegation of felony-level child abuse, and they provide a full array of services from forensic interviewers to mental health therapists, victim advocates, and provide other services like court accompaniment. They're working with kids that the here and now that have been abused. Our Child Advocacy Studies was developed in partnership with Child Protective Services and the Attorney General's Office because we recognized how complex this work is. And we were seeing so much turnover in the field that, of course, cost all of our agencies time and resources. And so we said, we've got to do better. And we worked together with all of our colleges and universities to implement Child Advocacy Studies, which provides some practical training through an interdisciplinary approach so that we have those same professionals that would be working together at the Child Advocacy Center, law enforcement, social workers, medical professionals, mental health. We have those on the college level. So now we have social work majors taking courses with criminal justice and faith studies, and our future therapists and future physicians are all taking courses together and are going through some simulation training and getting some real practical knowledge about how to intervene in these very complex cases.
And that sort of gives them the opportunity, too, to see how they can all play, the different professions play a role in what we all want, which is to defeat child abuse, or at least lessen it, bring it to the forefront, at least help tackle it. And it takes all of us, but I feel like a lot of professions aren't even aware of how they can help or play a part into it, or they're timid to do that. So I feel like this kind of helps break down those barriers and gives them a little bit more confidence. Is that also part of it?
It is, but we can also think, even if someone goes through the Child Advocacy Studies program, they may never go into a field like social work or criminal justice. They may realize this isn't for me, but they're going to be a better parent, they're going to be a better juror in the future, they're just going to be a better citizen of Mississippi because now there's that knowledge about how to protect children.
So Addison, obviously you have a love of protecting children. You wouldn't have chosen to go necessarily into this field, but when did you first hear about the CAST studies?
My advisor and the director of our social work program at MC, Dr. Laurie Lawson, she kind of posed it to me as this elective option, and she said, hey, you can take these few classes and then you'll get this certification at the end. And I was like, oh, I would love a certification, anything to kind of push me forward a little. And so really I had not before then kind of had much interest specifically in the world of child advocacy within social work. I didn't really know what exactly in social work I wanted to do, but this program sounded like a really cool elective option, so I went ahead and did it. And as soon as I was in the first class, the first night, I would even say I was just in love with the whole concept.
So as a student, though, is this extra for you, Addison, or did it sort of click off an elective that you were going to have anyway? So it's not like extra work. So you already had this hole that needed to be filled, and so this CAST filled that hole for you, but also provided this other opportunity to have a certification at the end.
Right, exactly. It fulfilled my elective requirements that I already had, so it wasn't anything extra. It was just a special kind of way to get my elective credit.
So how did going through the CAST system within your studies start to open your eyes with how you could use your profession? Obviously, you're a little more unique. Social work we kind of think of when we think about in terms of an arm of child advocacy, or can be an easy route for that. But how did you start to see how maybe what you're learning in social work could really make an impact when it came to children?
I think that was kind of one of the biggest takeaways of CAST, was seeing the impact that it has through the experiences we got to have in CAST, which is again one of the things that made it such a special form of elective. So within the class there were a lot of opportunities to go to different places, as in a child advocacy center or a shelter or a school, something within that world. One of the coolest ones that we went to is the Katie House, which is a simulation for students or any kind of professionals in training to go to this house that is set up to be like a situation where you might see signs of abuse or neglect. So you walk through this simulated experience and you look for these tangible things that you've been talking about and you've been reading about and you've kind of been preparing yourself for, but really for the first time for a lot of us students especially, you see it in person and you try to put this situation together in your head, connect these things you've been learning. And that was kind of the first time a lot of us were like, whew, this is really real, this is really important. And a lot of people would never have thought of these things if they hadn't gotten the knowledge that we had before we went to this experience.
Because you can't unsee it, you can't unlearn it once you sort of have that there. Addison, I know obviously your background was social work. Some of your other classmates within your CAST system there at MC, were they all in social work, or did you have a variety of students in different undergraduates?
So I was in the inaugural class of our CAST program, so the very first one, and at that time we only had 2 students who weren't social work majors, but I think kind of as the program continues that number will definitely grow. The 2 that we had one criminal justice major, and she was actually a graduate student, so she already had her bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and then we also had an undergraduate who was a double major in accounting and finance. And so I actually knew her personally, and the first day that we were in class, I was like, I think you're in the wrong room. I'm not sure why you're here. But it turned out that she had been interning in the Department of Crimes Against Children. And she said, I'm working within this world. I want to know what's going on. I want to know more about this. And so after she had the experience, I asked her about it. I was like, what did you think coming from that perspective? And she said, I think that was the most important class I've ever taken. And that, everyone should know these things that you learn about how to protect children. Because when it comes to it, CAST is a way to train professionals, but it's also a means to kind of raise awareness and put that awareness into people who then spread it further. It's like a drop of water making the ringlets out. It's a way for us to start to kind of get these, even just the bare minimum facts you need to know to be a conscious citizen, and pass those to other people, especially beyond the world of social work, because those are the people who don't know those kinds of things.
Karla, I think I have the face of CAST for you. Her name is Addison Alexander, and I think you just need to, although I would hate to pull her from the actual professional world because I think she's going to do good works and good things, but also send her out and let her talk about it, because but obviously what I love, Addison, mostly is your passion, but Karla, you're beaming too with a smile because it sounds like she got out of CAST what you hope all students do.
Exactly. She's the perfect example of what we want going out in the field. This is the whole reason why we initiated this program, is we knew that we had to do better by our workforce, and they needed to know when they were coming out of school what to be prepared for. And children deserve that. They deserve to have a professional that truly understands it. And Addison was talking about our Child Advocacy Training Institute, which I think is just so critical, that when students go through these courses, that they get that experience of knocking on a door, that they get to walk through, experience what it would be like, and essentially it's a crime scene to trial type of simulation center. So to be able to experience that before it's a real child on the other side of that door. And so you get the opportunity to make mistakes. You get the opportunity to have someone who's on the, there, who's has the emotion of, if an investigation is going on in their home, to have the sights, the sounds, and we've even talked about it, the smells, that we make sure that it feels like a real simulation or a real home that you're going in through that simulation.
I won't ask about the smells. But I will say that this also, Addison, has totally changed the trajectory of your profession. You knew you were going into social work, but now you interned and now you're working there. So what's life look like for Addison right now in terms of child advocacy?
Yeah, so I just had the awesome opportunity to intern at the Central Mississippi Children's Advocacy Center in the last semester of my time at Mississippi College. So I completed that internship and then kind of went into the summer a little unsure of what the rest would look like, and then finally coming to where I was hired there. So I've gotten to come back. This has been my first week back this week. And I mean, it was just a happy reunion. I came in and everyone was there. We were all excited to see each other. And so now we've gotten to kind of pick up where I left off, and I'm going to get to even dive a little deeper now that I have my bachelor's. I'm going to be doing some more training, getting to have some new experiences there, but it's
and
just
making
such a blessing.
A good impact. I can obviously see that. All right, well, thank you both for your time. We've got so much more coming up next here on Good Things.